Well, I'm here in San Jose, California, and we're here at Chromatic Coffee. So we're going to show off the roastery, show off the cafe, and all the cool things related to Chromatic.
Old warehouse. It was cold storage, pretty much when canning was big in the Valley of Heart's Delight, now known as Silicon Valley. But yeah, it was an old furniture store before we moved in. I remember seeing it, living in this area. But yeah, they gutted it, put a bunch of this corrugated steel up. We moved in sometime around 2016 and started operating full force in like 2018. Opened up this coffee bar in 2019, worked through the pandemic, changed our online practice and how people engage with us. So like there was a lot of shifts and changes over the time. We adapted pretty well and hit the online market pretty well, and now wholesale is coming back. So that's cool. But yeah, it seems as though people enjoy it. They like the warehouse vibes, and they like it's a little bit warmer now.
Yes.
A little cupping bell if you want to go check out the cupping in the back. Old classic Synesso, ground control, plays all of our batch brew, and fun equipment.
All the supplies for the cafe.
Production, where everything gets filled and weighed out. 2-pound bags, 5-pound bags, varying retail. Big blenders. Green coffee, tons of green coffee from everywhere. Brazil, Honduras, Colombia, Galapagos, Ethiopia, more Colombia. Big production roaster, the Brazilian machine, Lila Opus 4, it's 45 kilo, essentially 100 pounds green, about 84 pounds roasted, about 420 roasted pounds an hour. Pretty much higher volume coffees, roast everything here. Everything else that's single origin or unique or special lot, roast it on the ProBot. This is our cupping and brew section.
Oh, you guys do the double?
Yeah.
I see. This one's better? Okay. Yeah, there's like some, jumping through. But very interesting. Show you the ProBot real quick. Got Aiden roasting here. Aiden's our certified Q grader.
We do a bunch of different roast profiles, depending on the style of the coffee that we want to do, the roast degree, the origin, the density, elevation, process. Pretty much every, the moisture content, every metric that you can think of that we can measure, we take into account in formulating a flavor profile. Main part of our philosophy, I think, is intention in development and showcasing certain aspects of that coffee's journey or story that are the most interesting and worthwhile. So whether it's exploration in processing methods, or if it's we want to demonstrate to you what high elevation coffee tastes like, we're always going to be looking at what is the enzymatic profile of the coffee, and what can we do to modify the perception of that sugar. Chromatic just recently turned 10 years old, was my partner, and I'm working at a different coffee roastery at the time. It had changed ownership a couple of times. So we got tired of that experience, and I had the opportunity to essentially be head roaster of a brand new company and build out the coffee program the way that I saw fit.
So what's your background, and how did you get into coffee?
I've been working in coffee since about 2005, I believe. I was a teenager with my team. Started working at Pete's Coffee as a barista, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I went to barista competition. I remember No Sleep Till Earthly was some of the hoodies and other track jackets that I saw there. I felt the latte was really cool. Aspects of Italian espresso that were really cool. And that kind of launched my journey into the career of coffee. So it's been over 16 years. The majority of my time I've spent as a roaster and green buyer. I've done most every job in the industry. I think I first fell in love with
the idea of brewing from a trip that I took to Japan, student exchange program when I was 16, learning about that processing and how the same species of tea could taste so many different ways based on processing and how it required different temperatures and steep times. We're weird in a certain sense. So don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of effort and interest in providing traditionally classically excellent coffees, wet processed coffees. We're very production heavy and focused. So we try to invite consumers to the back end. We're very DIY, a little gritty, and that sense. We're very focused on skill and craft and knowledge. Yeah, we make a lot of decisions based on what we find to be really awesome. Yeah, with it tools we want to share, regardless of how much sense it makes. Yeah. So how do you source coffees? A lot of what I do is direct trade. Mainly, I focus on Central America. Some of the strongest relationships in with Salvador and Honduras. I also work closely with markets in Ecuador, Brazil. The direct trade really helps with quality assurance in a certain way. Trust is really important. We still get samples, of course, of all the coffees that we're looking for. But what I like to do is find a large variety of options from a small group of people. Oh, wow. What excites me? It's been a massively changing sea. But there's a lot of different interests, if you will, within the coffee industry that keeps me on my toes. Equipment, technology, machinery, just seeing the constant optimizations and attempt to understand the rule of the science. One of the most exciting things as far as the industry at large is how much more recognition the producers are getting. For me, it's always back to the peanut stuff and creating the prime matter for us to impose our craft on and our own styles. First impression, visually, I thought it was it has all of the, let's say, West Coast tech design. Like, very much what I'm familiar with, very home, right? Yeah, very nice. Like footprint, like the style, and then upon seeing its function, I thought it was very approachable. I thought that being the grind quality was pretty impressive. I thought that the way they spell in static was pretty impressive. The thing that I absolutely fell in love with was the stream of water when it's pouring and the electrostatic field having an effect on the laminar flow of the water. That I nerd out on because I love that there's no limited cost. I like this because I don't have to clean it, and I like it because it's less prone to breakage. I think these are things that are important, especially from like a consumer standpoint. But I understand consumers that do not want to work under a buttons. I want to tear it apart. I want to open it up, see its guts, see how it works. Not that I'm not interested in next, but I am understanding of the type of person that may want the inconvenience at no sacrifice of the quality or almost the craftsmanship that goes into it. And the fact that it's taking this RFID tag, taking the recipes that we've created and replicating that exact same environment that was subjected the copy to. I think all of that was very, it didn't surpass any expectations. It met all the expectations that I had. And I was very pleased to see the copy. I was like, finally, somebody created this, what I consider like streamlined and very concise. And you took the main elements, the main variables, and automated that. So that was very satisfactory. And I typically don't like having Chromatic as part of like other services. But when I saw the xBloom model is like, this is something that I would like to pay for. This is something that I find value in, and this is something that doesn't compromise how I want our consumer these, especially interacting up.
Same.
And I love that they have options as well.
Yeah.